You know how sometimes you read something and it really kind of really strikes you? Well, yesterday Venerable Jampa sent some statements, quotes from Ajahn Brahm, who is a Theravadan monk I think he's based in Australia. He was the brave monk who ordained some bhikshunis in that tradition. So I wanted to read this quote and talk a little bit about it. So he writes, "Real beauty does not lie in perfection, but in embracing and accepting imperfection." Real beauty does not lie in perfection, but in embracing and accepting imperfection. So what first came to my mind when I read that was our conditioning with all the advertising that we get, especially out in the world, 24/7. I can't tell you how many years I absorbed that. Oh, well, we all did, you know. And of course, the message there is to teach us that real beauty does lie in perfection. So the opposite. And with all of that conditioning, then our senses are always looking for this perfection. And it really propels us to do so many things that are not helpful, up to and including things like surgery to get us to look, you know, in a certain way. And of course, as we continue to look for those things that will make us perfect on the outside, or perfectly happy on the inside, we keep searching and not getting, and searching and not getting, and we just keep going to the next thing, thinking that's the next thing that will do it. And so what this builds up over time, at least it did for me, was this way of living where we are anticipating and then getting disappointment. Anticipating and then disappointment. So this up and down thing, you know, over and over and over and over again. And of course, what that does is strengthen our attachment and our dissatisfaction. So just to think for a minute what our experience would be like if we embraced and accepted imperfection in ourselves and others. What would that be like? I mean, just even saying that, all this space kind of just opens up, you know? To just be open with what is in front of us and to accept it and embrace it. How different we would relate to others and ourselves, you know, especially in this country where we have such low esteem and, you know, it's never good enough. Having this ability to embrace our own imperfections and accept them really would cut down all of that. There wouldn't be any room for judgment or fear or anxiety, criticism, anger, you know, that would be gone. And then the other thing I thought was, if we're able to accept our imperfections and others and embrace, then that starts aligning ourselves to the reality of what we are experiencing in this samsaric world. And then that is kind of, to me, the basis then for starting to apply all the Buddha's teachings so that we can transform our own imperfections and, you know, practice on the path with the end result of actually being perfected, which is what a Buddha is. This thing about accepting the reality of what is first is necessary to start moving towards something else. If we continually ignore our own imperfections, I don't think we're going to get very far at all. Generally, I think what happens is we look out and start seeing what is wrong with everything outside of us, then we don't spend much time, looking on the inside. So I think this quote was quite beautiful. So may we, this day and every day, really embrace and accept the imperfection that we see around us, because real beauty does not lie in perfection in this samsaric world.